Welcome back to Combat Sports Weekly. Joining us now is a freelance writer based out of the Midwest, Duane Finley, man. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Albuquerque's a fine city, and I don't know if I'm going to leave.
Yeah. How long have you been here now?
I've been here since November 4th. I come in to do this project with Carlos Condit, and I have a different kind of style, so it was a one-way ticket. And then I think I'm going to be leaving. I think I'm going to be leaving before Christmas.
Yeah.
So it'll be great.
So it's a pretty long trip that you have here.
Yeah, man. It's usually traveling a lot in the fight business, but most of the time it's like a week project, maybe 10 days. This one being over a month. It's pretty extensive, but it's been worth it.
Yeah. Now and right now in MMA Junkie, you have first couple of episodes or parts of an eight-piece series that you have, 8-part series, I should say, with Carlos Condit. How did that all materialize?
Well, it's kind of a two-part thing. One, I did this kind of storytelling kind of generated last year. I did a road trip project, went full Kerouac, coast to coast, and my ultimate went to fight camps to tell this kind of story of what a fighter's life is, beyond what we see, beyond the bright lights, beyond the camera. See who they are, in their real lives. Bring out the humanity in them. Okay. So then that was a hit, or that did well. And then the Carlos project is kind of an extension of that. So it's like, instead of doing the road trip, how about I just go to where you're at, where you're camped, show who who you are in your life outside of fighting, in the lead up to, as it turned out, when we agreed, then it turned into a title fight. So now it's the biggest, probably the biggest fight of his career. So yeah, it's been pretty fortunate there.
Yeah. Why do you think more outlets don't take this approach to journalism like you have?
Well, I think for one, financially wise, it's zero cost. That's the whole thing. Is like, people are like, oh, it must cost a ton of money for an outlet to send you to Albuquerque. Well, no, it doesn't, because you pay for travel. I live. I'm a couch sleeper, man. Like I'm like a method writer. So I will sleep. I eat, sleep, and breathe this thing until I'm done with it. So I don't know, because corporate companies that like backers, they want the clicks. So that's why Rousey Mayweather articles dominated the MMA sphere for 6 months.
Right. Because
people just click on it. You write like a longer form story that you have to invest yourself. A lot of people said that there was no room for this, that people, people don't care about it. Well, this Condit project is showing that people do care about it.
Yeah. What do you think people will learn about Carlos Condit, about Albuquerque in this 8-part series?
Oh, a ton, man. Like, you look at a guy like Carlos and you see him fight, and there's something else there, man. He's he's got that killer instinct. But then you see him outside the cage, and he's just the nicest guy. Well, there's a reason for that, right? Something made him that way. Okay, well, what I found out, and you'll find out in the series, is that there are clear reasons why he's that way. Upbringing, the blue-collar work ethic that's been instilled in him. But Albuquerque, I'm glad you said that, because this guy is Albuquerque through and through. So what you're going to see in this series is how much Albuquerque loves him and how much he loves Albuquerque back.
Yeah. You've also been working with Donald Cerrone. And Cerrone actually recently launched a podcast for people that don't know. So what's that interaction been like with him?
It's now...
He's a little different than Condit.
Yeah. So it's not the podcast, it's the party cast.
The party cast.
Yeah. So that's... between jumping back and forth between the two is like a study in it's like a psychological study, right? They're both the same killer instinct, awesome, great fighter, but Condit's introverted, Cowboy's extroverted, and it's great, and you're gonna see great stuff there too.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. How has that been though, just working with Cerrone? The difference of, does that mess with your psyche? We move into one guy to the other when they're so just different on different sides of, I guess, the personality spectrum? It's
a challenge, brother. And I'm all about a challenge. But here's the thing with Condit, you go through, and Condit's so intense, but he's also so funny and laid back. So you get this genuine thing. And then so I've gone out and stayed a couple nights out at the ranch. And it's wild as advertised. There's 12 guys living out there. Cowboy's got a gym. He's got dorms. The night I was out there, Mac from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, he was out there. Skylar Asser for Pitch Perfect. And there's Cowboy. And then there's Overeem. Yeah. There's a lot to it. But yeah, man, it's kept things flowing. But I'll put it this way: there's not been a boring minute for me in Albuquerque.
Yeah, and you were actually here for what is probably the greatest sports moment in Albuquerque history, when Holly Holm knocked out Ronda Rousey. Your video of everyone's reaction at the Downs here in Albuquerque went viral. What was that like to be in this city and to see it as an outsider just the reaction from everybody?
It was like, and this made sense to me more after, it was like Albuquerque won the Super Bowl, okay? Because sitting there, and I figured as a storyteller, I'd go there, the worst that would happen, you know, like, hey, Holly gets beat, you know, I'll get to see some of their reactions, her teammates and friends. After the first round, it started going the way it did, and the energy's going like, oh man, this is gonna happen. So then that's why I started queuing up the video a little bit, you know? And to see, like in the video, you see Cowboy going crazy. That's real. Like, that's real. That's his teammate, that's his sister. And Downs went nuts. And then in the corner, what you can't see in the video is Diego Sanchez is doing one of these. Condit's going crazy. Isaac Valley Flag's going nuts. Well, I was with Condit, and we snuck out of there. We went back downtown to New York Pizza on 2nd and Central. Great place. And they stopped serving alcohol. There was like all across downtown. They're like, no more alcohol, because they thought like people were going to go crazy. But it was like the Super Bowl, man, and it means so much to Albuquerque. And I was so grateful, even if I wasn't rolling the camera, so grateful that I was here at that moment for your city.
Yeah, you mentioned on social media that this trip has changed you, that being here in Albuquerque has changed you. How so?
Well, hold on, I got to show you this real quick. I'm sorry.
No worries.
I think Albuquerque has embraced me, so I've embraced it back, and now I'm Duke City. So,
I am Duke City.
I am Duke City. But yeah, like I can tell you that there's something genuine with the people here, the fight community, that have embraced me and made me feel so warm about being here. Because, you know, you work with a lot of fighters. You know, fighters are guarded people. So for them to accept and let me in, to trust me, to tell their stories honestly. And then Albuquerque is a city, just the vibe, man, you know, it's going to be hard for me to go back.
All right. Before we let you go, we want to make sure we let everyone know where they can catch your stuff.
And I'm sorry for taking my shirt off, by the way.
No worries.
But no, my stuff's kind of all over the place. But right now, the two things that I'm really focused on is, well, for one, the Carlos Condit project, the MMA Junkie. Every Monday, a new installment will come out. And then we have a Cowboy Cerrone project that's coming out closer to December. I'm also writing features for Sports Illustrated. And then I do fighter features on UFC.com. So those places, there's always something new coming out. At Duane Finley MMA Twitter. That's probably the easiest way to keep up with all of it.
Yeah, it's great stuff in the 8-part series that he has on MMA Junkie. Make sure you guys check it out. And welcome to Albuquerque. And it's been a pleasure having you. Duane Finley, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. And a pleasure to talk to you. I know you operate in this fight community, and that's what I love about Albuquerque, man. Like, this is a fighting town, and you doing your job, the radio guys today doing their job. Everybody loves the fight community here, and it's just so great to come through it.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that. And, you know, you're welcome back at any time. So make sure you guys check him out online. See you after the break.